First, James, obviously, with the priority to bring Grayson back, and what's it mean to get that done before the postseason?
It's massive for us, right? Like, we talk about it takes everyone and everything, and the one thing we wanted to continue to keep was our continuity. And we had the opportunity to keep Grayson here, and Matt was like, I value this family atmosphere. I value the culture that we're building because guys like Grayson value that, and that's where they want to be. And so to be able to keep him with the group and have him continue to be a part of our core, I think it's a testament to this group where guys sacrifice for each other. They make each other better. They stay connected. They compete. And they play the game the right way, and it makes it a fun atmosphere. And so for me, I'm just excited that we get to keep the best shooter in the league with us.
And obviously, the only follow-up I had to that was when the trade was made, obviously the huge names in the trade, Dame, Nurkić, Deandre, Drew, and Grayson kind of was under the radar, but you had told me that that's a guy that would fit in with us. Did you see it, though?
Yeah, he's
playing
one
out
of us.
This way.
He's one of us, right? He's like I said before, a selfless teammate. A guy that's played in big games, played big minutes for some really good teams. He's played with the best, and everywhere he's been, he's won. And the best players on all those teams rave. They gush about the type of player he is, but more importantly, the type of teammate he is. And so I was excited that we got him, and I think you see why we love him.
James, obviously he could have tested free agency this summer, but you guys were able to nip it in the bud ahead of time. So what was the incentive for you guys to get it done, and how gratifying is it that he was interested in taking care of this before all of that?
Oh man, it was huge for us, and he said it before. Like, he wanted to be here. He wants to be here. We want him here. It's a perfect match. What we're about, he's about. We want to win at everything. And Grayson said that not only do I want to win, I want to win here in Phoenix. And I'll show you. I'll take less to come here and be a part of something special and to compete for a championship. And those are the types of players that you bet on every time.
When you look at the regular season now that it's over, how would you kind of evaluate the highs and lows? Obviously, only having the big three for half of your games. How would you evaluate the regular season?
Our team is whole now. I think, look, you look at what we've done. We won 49 games with the 6 seed. We won 49 games in the other conference, you're the 2 seed. You win 3 or 4 more games, you're talking about being the top 2-3 seed. So you can look backwards or you can look forward. I look forward to continuing to build the momentum that we've built over the last 10 days, last 10 games. I think you started to see our team come together. There's always been a narrative when the big three are together, But I think if you look at our success, you see it's much deeper than that. When our team is connected, we're really, really tough to beat.
What stands out to you, just what we've seen from Bradley Beal over these last few games and just the energy and the spark that he's provided?
Just the balance, right? Brad has picked his spots, and I have to credit him a lot for being patient. Right? It's not easy to be the third guy, and I think the third guy not in talent, but just in usage. You come to a team with Devin and Kevin, who are 2 of the league's best scorers, and someone has to sacrifice. And so he's done that. But now he understands he's striking a better balance, understanding he's the only Brad Beal we have. There's not a guy like him on our team or in the league that can do the things that he can do. And he's just picking the right time to show everyone what he's capable of.
Watching Chris do it in Miami and then watching Brad do it in like that third role, what are some of the similarities you see with like the unselfishness that guy kind of has to have?
No, I mean, it's all different. They're different players. I think on every team you have, we would say the third guy, the guy that has to sacrifice the most. Rarely do you have a guy of his caliber doing it. But it's different in the sense that he's a guard. Guards are higher usage than forwards and bigs. Usually those guys are the secondary teammates where he's an initiator for us. But once again, I think what he's done on the defensive end is what goes unnoticed. I think when you put him in the category of 2 guards in the league, combo guards in the league that can play both sides of the ball, there are very few like him.
James, you got a pretty good sample of Royce with you guys now. What's kind of your takeaways of how he's fit in and on the defensive end as well?
Compete at everything. Compete offensively, defensively, against bigs, against smalls, make winning plays. When I talk about Royce, I just say winning plays. I can't tell you whether or not they'll be on the offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball every night. I just know when you stack it up, he's going to have a lot of winning plays.
When it comes to Grayson, you said he wanted to be here. What does that say about the culture that you guys have kind of created here, where you got a guy like his comment says, "Hey, let's get this done early," and then he.
It's real. It's real. I credit Matt. Every day he talks about doing what it takes. It takes everything and everyone. And when you have that mentality and you build that type of team, that type of culture, you get the world's best investing in your team. And I look at this as an investment in our team. Grayson said he wants to invest his time, his energy, his future, his skills with us, and we're better for it.
When you look at sorry, when it comes to his skill set, what is it that makes him such a good fit for this team in your opinion?
He does it all. He defends, he shoots, he passes, a great second side playmaker. He makes tough plays, and he doesn't take the easy route. Offensively, it's a challenge sometimes. Defending on one end and running, cutting, and waiting for your opportunity on the offensive end. But he's always locked in and engaged. And more importantly, he stays connected to the group on both sides. He leads by example. And so he's been great for us. And it also helps that he's from Florida.
James, obviously Kevin going to BYU. Just I can speak on that and what he has meant to this team and this franchise, and having a new opportunity to be a head coach.
I mean, I'm so excited for him. We're so excited for him, but it's bittersweet. We spent a lot of time together. He's been instrumental in what we've built here in Phoenix. But it's an opportunity for him to show the world how great of a coach he is, and they're extremely fortunate to have him. I know we have been, but it's bittersweet. But we have unfinished business, and we'll close it out the right way and send them home with victories.
Yeah, James, you said there's not one way to win before when I asked you, but you guys sometimes have to go small, unnecessary, play tempo. But what does Nurk bring when he's out there in this series sweep that you guys had this last regular season against Minnesota when he's out there?
He's an unsung hero for us. I think quietly, it doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough credit for being one of our pillars. He's played over 74 games or plus 70 games from a rebounding, interior presence, from a playmaking and passing, but more importantly from a selflessness aspect. He's been unbelievable. We all know that being a big guy on a team that's guard heavy or perimeter heavy, a lot of times you just find yourself out there just doing the things that no one notices, but we notice. And so he gives us a physicality we haven't had in years, and it's going to serve us well in the playoffs because if you just look at the conference standings, there aren't any easy days in the Western Conference.
James, when you look at just go back to Grayson's contract, the financial impact it has moving forward, how do you view that aspect of it, knowing Matt has been someone that basically said willing to do whatever, spend whatever, but that's still a heavy amount of dollars.
It is. It's real money, right? Like it's not taken lightly, but I don't know how many times Matt has to say it and how many times he has to do it before people realize that he's serious about doing what it takes to win. And so it makes, like I said, it makes it a joy to work here and to be here, and for the guys to play here because they know when it comes down to it, we're going to do what it takes to win.
What do you feel like came together for this team the last 3 games of the regular season? Did that at all, I guess, enhance your optimism for the team?
I just time, right? And I don't say time in the way like people say, oh, you just need more time. I think human nature, a lot of times you look at it and, like we do, we see the end of the season, we see the playoffs coming, and we're like, hey, we don't have any more time. You have to figure it out. You have to simplify. You have to kind of refine what you've done, and you have to accept. Like, this is my role, this is who we are, and this is what I need to do to push us forward. I think every player, coach, executive, team member for the Suns, we recognize that we just did not have more time, and we figured some things out.
Maybe in the context of Brad told the man in his time? Maybe in the context of Brad told the man in his time?
No, I mean, I think it's just the unwritten, unspoken rule of sport. Every team, every person reaches a point where they're like, I don't need to think anymore. We don't need to think this through. We just need to do it, and that's where we are.
How do you assess this team going into the playoffs as opposed to last year and then you guys went to the NBA championship?
totally different team, totally different NBA. I actually spend very little time trying to look backwards. I just look at how we're different this month versus last month and how our opponents have improved. And so in relation to our opponents, I feel like we're one of the teams that has built a tremendous amount of momentum at the end of the season. And that's what you need to carry you into a deep postseason.
James, can you talk about how vital it was and cool to see Kevin Durant play 75 games at 35 years old, still getting at the offense level?
I don't know why everyone else is surprised. You know, like, you don't become one of the all-time greats by watching basketball. You play it. And he's a guy that spends every non-practice hour trying to figure out how he can be a better pro. And if you do that, if that's your life, you get the results that you get. Like, I'm not surprised he played 75. I think he said the other day, like, if it weren't for someone falling into his knee, he would have played this number of games. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for for us and him just being prudent, he's the guy that would try to play 82 games because he cherishes every moment on the court.
James, do you feel like there was a time in the preseason maybe it was hard to see where Bol would fit on this team? How would you just kind of describe or assess his development to where he was then to where he is now?
I mean, it's night and day. I think for him coming in to this environment was great. How many young players his age get a chance to be around like legitimate Hall of Fame caliber players every single day, observe their habits, watch how they work. And it was adjustment for him early, but he's found his lane, and I think he's done a tremendous job watching. So many times you get young guys that come to these situations, they spend a lot of time talking. He's spent a lot of time watching and learning, and it's paid dividends for him because he's vital for us. He's something that we don't have as far as like redundancy of skill and talent. And so he has a space here where he fits in, and I think he's embraced that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.